Hello everyone, welcome to Court with Krissy. You're going to want to buckle up for this video as a defendant is being sentenced on her resisting arrest charge. The courtroom gets to watch the body cam footage and we get to listen along. The woman calls her mom, she calls her dad, she calls 911. Just be thankful she didn't call you. I hope you like it. Court with Krissy is now in session.
Versus Dean, file 23-4089. Is Dean here? Okay, it's the date and time of sentencing. Ms. Dean is here with her attorney, Mr. Johnson, Mr. Rossiter, Ms. Truesdell here for the people. The conviction here is attempted assault with of a police officer or resisting obstructing. Have you had a chance to go over this pre-sentence report, ma'am? Is it factually accurate, or are there changes, corrections, or additions to it?
No, it's accurate.
All right. So then, by way of elocution here, Mr. Johnson, are there comments you'd like to make?
There are, Your Honor. I think as a starting point, I've had a lot of conversations with Ms. Dean about how she got to this point, and obviously there's a report that she is reflecting back to the original charge, if we had a trial on where she was found not guilty, that really got the warrant out and then started this process. That being said, I don't think that really had as much to do with this as she thinks it does. I think it's really her mental health as well as her perception of the purpose and validity of law enforcement. So what I've done is had several conversations with her, first about mental health, and I won't bog the court down with it, but she is seeing mental health help. She is getting help. She's got her medications reviewed. She's doing the things that she needs to do to make sure that she is mentally in the best shape to deal with any sort of triggers or any bad situations or anything that might come up. But two is just an understanding of what law enforcement's role is here. The officer on this date did not want to have to remove her from a vehicle, did not want to have to arrest somebody on a warrant, did not want to have to pull over a vehicle, didn't want to have to do any of those things, but that's his job. Understand at this point that police have a job, they have a purpose, and there's a reason that they're there, and that yes, there may be these outlier cases and bad things certainly can happen, but by and large, they're there to fulfill a very important purpose in society. You understand that now? So I think, if she has any contact with police, and I think she's had conversations with police since then, she had a conversation and she's going to talk about this sort of shortly after this happened, where, she got to talk to an officer and saw that they're not out to hurt her. They're not out to beat her or kill her or anything like that. And so long as I think she's properly taking medication, has her mental health, properly under review, that she's seeing somebody, I just don't see something like this happening again, because I think her fear throughout this case, you can feel it. This has really stressed her out. And that being said, that's not an excuse for obviously what she put the officer through on this date. So I know that she is apologetic. I know that she has changed the way that she's thinking about this. So, Your Honor, I think that the recommendations are appropriate. I think keeping an eye on her during probation, I think is certainly appropriate, but I do think that she's going to be successful. I think she can be successful. I think she wants to be successful. Regarding sort of just to touch a little bit on some of the relationships that were brought about in the trial, I think she recognizes who's good to have in her life and who isn't, who has her best interest and who doesn't. If you have bad relationships with people, just stay away from them. There's no reason. It's a big enough area that you don't need to have contact with people you don't need to have contact with. So that being said, we'd just be asking for the court to follow the recommendations, but I know Ms. Dean did want to address the court as well.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Johnson. Ms. Dean, are there comments you'd like to make?
Okay, the reason why I had an issue with officers is because years ago, my cousin was shot and killed by a federal agent in the chest at 23, and it shocked me and to the core. It started PTSD, and every officer now is gonna shoot and kill me. That's why I acted the way I did towards the officer, in the video of this cam. Kayla was there with me, my friend, and she was telling the officer that I'm having a panic attack. I had her get on the phone with my parents, and they were, also trying to tell me to calm down because it's gonna make it worse. The stay in the police or the jail helped me immensely because it showed me that every officer is not going to shoot you, not gonna kill you. They're here to do a job, their job. And, I know now that every officer, I did have an encounter with that particular officer when I was released. He was around Mansalona and we were walking around and he asked if we seen a perpetrator dressed in these clothes. I answered him, no, just normal conversation like we would do, so I learned a lot from that whole situation. I wanted to let you know that, and I'm trying to move forward. And I have seen mental health 3 times since I've been in jail, or 2, and then I see her on Friday again. So I'll continue to.
So I wanted to ask you about that. That's Life's Works Clinic. Where's that?
In Kilkaska.
Okay, so what kind of mental health therapy is that?
Counselor of some kind. Her name is Laura. I don't know exactly, but it's Laura. I talked to her, Gifford or something like that. Gifford.
Okay. So, well, what you're telling me is true. I mean, it sounds like you're learning that police are there to help you, not to cause harm to you or to harass you or anything like that. And you were completely out of control with the police. And
I was because, okay, yes. Yes, I was.
all right. All right. So Ms. Truesdell, anything, or Mr. Rossiter?
I'm not quite sure what to think of what Ms. Dean is saying. I'm looking at the PSI, and so this is all after the fact. Defendant's statement. The defendant stated this case originally found an 8-year-old child lied on the stand about assault charge. That's a mighty bold statement. There is a difference between lying and a jury finding that there's not proof beyond a reasonable doubt. There is an absolute distinction between the two. And that's one reason that it's difficult to put young children on the stand. Because if the jury doesn't believe them, quite often the children think, well, why do they think I lied? Well, maybe now I have my answer. Because defendants like Ms. Dean say they lied. She said, and this isn't she thought, she thinks all law enforcement officers will kill her because her cousin was killed. I want the court, I've got the video of this incident, and I think the court needs to see it, how out of control and inaccurate she was. She was absolutely obnoxious. She was the only one. The next statement I want to point out, the defendant did state she blames, not blamed, blames the state of Michigan and Antrim County for this case. She also continued to blame the victim in the other cases. Regardless of the outcome of the trial of the assault, the reason she was arrested on this instance is because she did not appear in court. That's what the bench warrant was for, failure to appear. She parlayed a 2021 assault and battery into a 2023 R&O. Not many people can do that. She says that she thinks all police officers are going to kill her. I'm not sure when this incident she's referring to and why it happened, but this isn't the first time Miss Dean has been arrested. She's been arrested going back to 2016 or 2017. And in spite of all that, I just can't fathom that somebody needs to be 41 years old to realize that the police aren't out there shooting everybody. So I don't believe much of what she said about I've learned from this. I think what it is I was completely out of control with traffic stop. Now I will say anything to get myself out of a hole. So I made approach so that the court can view, and I got the whole stop, but I'm starting from the point where Deputy Bradley tells her that she has a bench warrant. And then I think it's instructive because, quite frankly, 12 days for credit for time served, when she is on the phone saying, "Mom, he has his hand on his gun," that's the kind of stuff that gets spread around. And as Winston Churchill said, a lie gets halfway around the world before the truth gets its pants on. And you can laugh all you want, Miss Dean.
Ms. Dean, don't laugh.
It's just the way about it.
Don't be quiet. Prosecutor speaking.
That's how fast things spread in today's day and age. And it's compounded by the fact that nobody wants to take personal responsibility. So if I may approach the court.
Sure. Mr. Johnson, you've probably seen this, but if you want, come on up. I'll just come down there. Ma'am, I'm assuming you've seen this,
I
right?
have not.
Well, you, Mr. Johnson, come on up. Can you make that brighter? Or is it
No,
time of
that's,
day?
I'll step
I gotta
up.
go over and talk to. Yeah,
I'll tilt it this way.
so go ahead and undo your seatbelt and step out. You got a warrant for arrest. Yeah, if you got a criminal bench warrant. Yeah, you got a criminal bench warrant. I'll explain it to you. She's got a criminal bench warrant. I'll explain it to her when she gets back to my car. No? There's no bond. So it's failure to appear. What's that? Yeah, and this is the ID that you gave me, correct? I just ran it, and you got a bench warrant out of Antrim County. What's that? What's that? Well, so she was gonna legally. So she was gonna legally drive the vehicle. So I had. Okay, she told me she was gonna drive the vehicle. So if you want to hang out over there, because if you want to drive the vehicle after, because I'm not gonna be able to drive it. So.
I didn't do anything.
Affirmative, the opposite. David, 547. Go ahead and send another car this way also. Okay.
I hate pigs. They killed Colin, and this motherfucker's gonna kill me too, Mom.
No.
He's gonna kill me. He's gonna go for his gun. What? He's gonna kill me.
Sorry, I don't even have my hand on my gun. So
This
don't.
fucking pig right here. He's gonna shoot me, just like they was gonna do to you. This
Okay.
fucker. I don't know. You talk to him. This is my dad. Here, you talk to him.
I don't have to talk to your dad.
They're gonna arrest me, Dad.
You ever?
I didn't do shit! I didn't fucking do nothing! I didn't do nothing, Dad! This fucking thing is gonna take me to jail!
Yeah.
I don't know what to do!
Got a criminal bench warrant.
I have a criminal bench warrant, Dad! For what?
Dispatch is checking it.
He don't wanna talk to nobody! He said no!
Central 28 from that warrant.
Dad, I can't fucking deal with this, Dad! I can't fucking deal with this! I can't! God damn it! Take me to the mental institution and take me to jail! Call the fucking police! Call the cop, please! Call the fucking ambulance, please, Kayla! Here, she's gonna call the ambulance, Dad! Right now. Please call them right now! Call 911, please! This guy's gonna kill me! I can't do it any cops. Call 911 now, please! I can't fucking do this! I'm not fucking going to jail. Don't answer it. No, 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 no. I cannot. I need help. I need help. This officer won't tell me why he's gonna arrest me. I need help. I'm not mentally stable. I can't. I can't do it. Out of here.
It said turn around, put your arm behind your back.
Kayla, put it
Put your arm behind your back. I asked you nicely once.
Help me!
You have a bench warrant for your arrest.
Kayla! Help me! Call my mom! And record this! Record this! Please, get my phone! Record it! He has it!
Hey.
He has it!
Quit.
He has it! Please call her!
Quit.
Call her! It hurts! You're hurting me! You're
What's that?
fucking
Yes.
hurting me! You're hurting me!
Quit.
I have sciatica
Okay.
and fucking faulty dishes! Please!
Okay.
Call my mom! Call my mom!
Okay.
Send off! He's hurting me! He's fucking hurting me! Seven more times. He's hurting me. God damn, this fucking pig is hurting me. God damn it, please. My force.
Hey.
Every time.
Stop.
Leave me alone. Get your hands off of me. Get your fucking hands off
Stop.
of me. Kayla,
Okay,
call her.
calm down real fast.
Seven, please call her.
Kayla.
Record this fucker.
Kayla.
Please record this
I'm
fucker.
trying to call
Please. Steven, help me.
She's got a warrant
Steven.
for arrest out of our county.
Can I get her all set?
Steven.
There's no bond.
Steven, please help me.
So she has to wait for her.
Yes. She has to wait to see a magistrate tomorrow morning.
Look, guys, tomorrow morning, you'll have to wait. Sorry.
I can't do it. Call my mom. Call my mom, please. Yeah, tell her. Yes. Mom. Mom, this pig is fucking with me. This fucking pig.
Kayla, get her shoes for her.
Please, let me see my mom. Mom. Mom, they're hurting me. He's arrested me. He's got his hands all over me. He's touching me. And the fucking handcuffs are so
I'm
tight.
not sure
I
if you're
can't.
a copy, but
I
I'm
can't.
gonna
I want
cut
the mental hospital. They need to call the ambulance, please. Call the ambulance, Mom. He has his hands on me. He's restricting me. Please. Mom, call the ambulance.
Okay.
I want an ambulance.
Stand up.
No.
Okay.
Oh, I can
You
get
make
you
this.
out.
You make this a lot easier.
Get your hands off of me.
Okay.
Get your hands off of me. Please stop.
She really does have
Okay.
to be on stage.
Okay.
Mom, help me. Help me, Mom.
Hey,
No, help me. Help me, Mom.
I'm gonna explain this to you.
Help me.
So,
Mom, he has his hands on me and it hurts. Would you please help me, Mom? His hands are hurting me. Hurting me. He's hurting me. He's hurting me. No.
So, ma'am, your daughter has a bench warrant for arrest.
He has his hands on me. He won't stop touching me.
She resisted.
Christ,
wouldn't get
I
out
did
of the
not.
vehicle.
I did not, you faggot.
So,
Fucking
if she
idiot.
continues to resist,
No.
she's going to pick
No.
up a resisting and obstructing charge.
Oh my God. 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 Mom, help me. Mom, help me. I shouldn't never came here. Please help me. This is because of Musty Line. That is why. It's because of Musty Line.
Okay. Can I go sit in your car?
Not tomorrow. I can't. I can't do this again. My hands are bruised. He's bruising me. He's bruising me. He's fucking bruising me.
This is all
All
recording.
fucked up.
So,
I don't give a fuck what it is, pig. Shut the fuck up, faggot.
okay. Stand
I
up
don't know
and
how
go in
much
my
more the
car.
court wants
I'm
to
done
watch.
chilling with you.
Well,
Goes on the whole ride.
okay.
Yeah, she's much calmer then, but still maintains the same.
I can't. I'll bring it to the jail.
Police are going to
Get in
kill
there.
everybody.
I thought I read in the PSI that
Yeah, you're going to sit in there.
she tried to get out of the back seat or
No,
something, but
you're not.
I think
I
this
asked
is
you to
enough.
cooperate and you wouldn't cooperate.
All right, so Ms. Jean, what are your thoughts on your actions on this day that you've just observed on the video?
I have so much PTSD and anguish and stuff from my cousin being killed and in Traverse City.
When did that happen?
I don't recall. I think it was the 2000s. It really was like 2016, in fact. Okay, but my dad has deal with, the Grand Traverse. And I'm telling you that because one of the bailiffs was going like this to my dad. And that's what I'm referring to about going for your gun, but this is not here nor there because I acted a fool, obviously, and I already knew that and seen that.
Were you intoxicated or
No,
on
not at all.
drugs or
Nope,
anything?
nothing. Not at all.
All right, go ahead.
It's just my mental status right now is very much so just all over the place. My own family stole from me. I think that has a little bit to do with it, like, I don't know, my mental status is not okay. It is way better now because of, dealing with it, getting help, taking medications.
So when did you decide to go to Life's Works Clinic?
It had to be like 2 months ago now because once I was having this trouble with the trial and everything, I needed help. So I reached out for it. So I've been talking to her for quite some time now.
Your Honor, if I could provide a little information, the offense date was 8/12/23.
Right.
My admission date for her going to Kalkaska, which initiated counseling and other services, is 8/24, which I believe is the day after she got out after sitting those 12 days.
Did you let the counselor know about this incident?
Yes.
And how you acted?
We didn't go any further, like a lot, but no.
After seeing that, do you think you have something else you want to maybe talk to your counselor about?
Sure, absolutely.
Well, your conduct was just unexcusable. Mr. Johnson, anything you'd like to add here?
Your Honor, I absolutely is inexcusable, but I really do think that goes to her mental state. And I think that should be the goal of this probation, is making sure that she continues in that counseling, that she continues going to that she continues following medication rooms. This isn't going to get better unless she is active in trying to make this better, because she recognizes that they're not allowed to kill her. They had a valid warrant. The warrant was because she failed to appear on a prior case. And she even admitted in the video that she knew that was the reason that she had a warrant out there. So I think, I recognize that the court may give her somewhat of a shorter leash here, but I would be asking that we oversee her continuing to go to treatment. I have noticed just in the 3 months that there is a difference, that there is, I couldn't talk to her at first. And now I can talk to her, I can have a conversation with her, she understands what's going on. I think she needs to continue down that path, and I think if she doesn't, she has to understand that this is a felony. She could very easily be charged with a felony if any conduct even close to this occurs in the future. And based on Mr. Rossiter's statement, I don't think they're going to be so gracious with a misdemeanor offer at that point in time. So she's got a decision to make: get better or go to jail. And unfortunately, those are the options right now.
Mr. Rossiter, anything further for the people?
Just like to point out here, I think it would be interesting to know, because the underlying charge that was the basis for the bench warrant, the assault and battery, because it was an assault, I didn't issue a criminal summons. I issued a complaint and a warrant. I would like to know if she was arrested on that warrant, because she was arraigned. And when a warrant's issued, you get arrested.
She had gone through the process. She failed to appear at the final conference. So,
But you get to a final conference after an arraignment. You get an arraignment after you have either been served a summons,
Yeah, or arrested.
and turned yourself in.
Were you arrested on the assault and battery charge?
I thought that was why he arrested me. I had a warrant out for my arrest, so that's what he was telling me that I had. So I don't understand the question.
I don't know that history.
I don't need it.
I let you know, the only other thing that I had was the few years ago, it was retail fraud, and we discussed that, That's what he was bringing up, that I've been in trouble, but it was years ago when I was young.
No.
That does not
So-
do with this question.
So was there an arrest warrant for the assault and battery that the officer was arresting her on at this time, or did she fail to, was there an arrest warrant and she failed to appear for arraignment?
Yeah. She was arraigned on September 14th, 2021 by Zoom. So she was arraigned on an assault charge.
Okay.
Prior to that arraignment, I did not issue a summons. I issued a complaint and warrant. So she didn't turn herself in. She was arrested.
Okay. So you're there too, you're ignoring court orders, you're ignoring police and authority.
I'm just confused on the, because we were in court multiple times.
My point for pointing out the possibility of an arrest in 2021 is if she didn't have that response then, why is it now? Yep.
So, Ms. Seifert,
I'm looking at the assault and battery case right now in our system. You are in the ROA. It doesn't show that there was an open warrant ever issued. There was a notice for an arraignment mailed, and then the defendant called the court wondering what this was.
That could be from the time of COVID when those things were optional.
all right. Well, okay, so I do believe that there must be a mental health component to this. There's no explanation for you reacting the way you did with the police officer, just not. And you weren't arrested on the assault and battery, so we don't know how you would have reacted back then. But I think there is a mental health component here. But I also think given the way you acted toward the police, there should be a jail component here too. I mean, that seriously put everybody at risk by the way you acted.
It was jail for 11 days for that, I thought.
12 days.
Right. I served 12.
All right, but I think some more should be ordered. So probation's going to be 1 year, $100 fine, $500 court cost, $75 crime victims fee, $50 state fee. Again, is a felony, so there's a $700 attorney fee, While on probation, you may not consume or possess alcohol, may not use or possess illegal drugs or mood-altering substances, no recreational marijuana, not to consume or possess non-prescribed medications, not to reside where alcohol, illegal drugs, firearms, or weapons are present, not to be in possession of any firearms or other weapons, not to behave in a violent, threatening, intimidating, harassing way toward anyone. Be respectful of all court employees, service and care providers, may not leave the state without the consent of the court. Now, I don't know anything about Life's Works Clinic, but I'll order you continue treatment there, follow the recommendations, but I'm going to have probation also determine whether a mental health evaluation beyond what you're doing there is necessary. It seems like maybe it would be. Discretionary drug and alcohol tests. Let me make sure I've included everything here. All right. So the jail is going to be 45 days, credit for time served, notify probation if you have any contact with law enforcement on probation. So if you don't follow the terms of this probation, you still have a year or less credit for time served that you can do, okay? So take advantage of this probation, do well in your mental health therapy, because it's clear you need that. And we'll see where things go, all right? So you're all set for now, so go ahead and have a seat over there. All right.